Hey, welcome back to Chris's Comments, a show of common sense on common ground, no matter what the subject. Sorry it's taken so long to come back. I know there's a lot of you out there that'd like to know that you're not alone. Even went to my podcast, but that was yesterday on Tuesday. It's now Wednesday, December 8th, 2021. Here's something on common grounds that we all thinking about. Hawaii floods. Holy crap. Hawaii is being flooded. It had snow. It had a huge storm that's caused a lot of floods. Once those flood waters go away and that snow on the top of their mountain volcano melts, I got a funny feeling it's going to create another water problem, another flooding problem. But let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that it's not going to happen. That being said, that's some very serious news that I hope stays and keeps us on alert, as opposed to what's coming up. What's coming up? Fox News Christmas tree got burnt. Some arsonist burnt the Fox News Christmas tree right outside of Fox News headquarters. And I'm claiming publicity stunt. I'm calling publicity stunt. Why not? Fox News is going to start saying that there's a bunch of anti-American doofuses, even though it was only one guy. It's a bunch of part of a conspiracy, and that he was probably sent by Hillary. You know it was Hillary. And all this other babbling bullcrap. I'm calling publicity stunt, and I'm claiming it because of the simple fact that they haven't had anybody to really bitch about in quite a while. They haven't had a real enemy in quite a while. It's always been Antifa, and the Antichrist, and all this other stuff. And they're just not, they just don't have that same publicity, that same kind of fellowship or followings that they did when they could put a Cobra to their G.I. Joe, and so they got some douchebag. He's staying quiet right now. And more than likely, when he makes a statement to the public, it's going to be about Biden and communists and all those people that want abortion and gay rights and manipulate the laws and all this stuff. And then he's going to go home and collect his pay. Excuse me. But yeah, Fox News is just going to bitch and make up some story as opposed to, and claim it that it's news, as opposed to actually talking about news, such as the Hawaii floods and stuff like the good news that we got earlier. Omicron is not fueling hospitalizations, and that's good. That's good. So far, we're still being safe enough to where we are not letting something like Omicron hit us as hard as it hit South Africa, as hard as it hit Israel, as hard as it hit the UK and Canada. We've got a couple of cases down here, but it did not hit us as hard as it hit Australia or Hong Kong. It's good. And of course, most Republicans are totally ticked off about this, that because we're following the safety guidelines, that, it's all, we're still under the oppression of the government, which is why Texas is suing the government over mask mandate ruling that President Biden and the current administration has enforced. And of course, it's all just retaliation to the Texas Department, the Justice Department that sued Texas over the voting map. We've got a voting map that is segregating a lot of people, keeping pro-political party, and it's affecting a lot of minorities like myself, along with blacks and single parent dominated populated neighborhoods and such, all these rezoning and stuff. It's been a problem since it's been a problem with Texas since the 1960s. To top it all off, but Texas and Republicans and all these extremists that are rezoning everything, they're getting away with it because of what I just stated about political power, party power. Because it's not technically, federally, it's not declared illegal if it supports a political party, as opposed to a certain class, a certain financial demographic, which incidentally enough, or coincidentally enough, whichever way you want to see it, it does affect those of a financial demographic, those of a racial demographic, those of even medical demographic, people where the places where there's a lot of, challenged people, places where there's a whole lot more poor, places where there's a lot more struggling single parents. They're getting lines routed around them and moved away from them or moved closer to them simply for political party dominance, which in this case would be the Republican Party, who's again responsible for all of these, anti-abortion and women's rights restrictions and removals, minority restrictions and removals, and more leeway for the wealthy, in particularly the wealthy. But the voting map, my fellow Texan leaders, my Texas leaders, are responsible for this, and they got hit hard with a lawsuit that the Justice Department hit them with. So, and that's really the same reason. That's really all the reason for all the bull malarkey of my Texas government, my Texas state government, making such an uproar about mask mandates. It's obvious that if they can force the national government to back off through this issue, then they've got one angle that they can start with in pushing them back and staying out of state administrative operations, which of course just adds on to the headaches, and again has been a problem in this particular case with the voting maps. It's been a problem since the 1960s. So they're attacking the government and all this other stuff. The government with Biden, who's been to Russia to go face to face with Putin and talking to him, telling him that he disagrees with a lot of stuff, and wants cooperation and all this other stuff for better peace relations. That's all fine and dandy, but all that I think it's very safe to say amongst all of us that all we really want him to do is just tell him to back the frack off, if I can speak Battlestar lingy. Back the frack off. Go away. Leave us allies alone. Okay? Leave the allied countries alone. Just go away. They're over here playing with after taking Crimea, they're over here playing with trying to attack the Ukraine again. The Ukraine are our United Nations allies, and it's a nice capitalist country that's being hit hard by this communist regime run by Putin. No differently than the other communists, which is the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, who's running China like its lapdog, causing a lot of problems throughout the world, also in Australia, the Philippines. They already overtook Hong Kong when they were supposed to wait until 2065 to actually reclaim the territory. They already moved in on Hong Kong, and it's one of the most dangerous places to live in now. Many people have gone missing and they're dead, or presumed dead, and it's a safe bet. So which leads to, boycotting China out of the Olympics and all this stuff. That's a good start. It's one way to handle the Chinese Communist Party, you know. But we should really take it up to Putin also, you know. Just snubbing out Russia. It's not that it's not towards the Russians any more than it is towards the Chinese, but it is to tell those that are in command who are doing this crap to the rest of us throughout the world, you know, back off. Back the frack off. I don't see a problem with that, you know. And that's really all that we should be asking, you know, President Biden to do, you know, because we've got enough problems of our own. You know, we got enough problems. We don't need China destroying, letting one of their dams called the Three Gorges, letting the Three Gorges Dam break with all the warning signs as far back as 1999, break and flood out the Yangtze River, which is a very famous river, filled with loads of people, killing 200,000 people. And then lo and behold, China comes up with another harvest of body organs to donate, not donate, but to sell to the surrounding countries of the world, which is what they've been doing. It turns out they've been doing stuff like this for quite a while, you know, missing and more than likely killed and harvested Hong Kongans. Same thing with the Uyghurs that they enslaved and sent through workmen's camps, where if any of them died, lo and behold, there's another round of body organs to be sold to hospitals throughout the world. You know, they've been on top of this for a very good while, killing hordes of people and making huge profits off of this. Now, obviously, Russia is not one of them, at least to the best of our knowledge, but Russia is doing a lot of hit and run tactics on all these countries like Crimea, the Ukraine, Kosovo, Bosnia, Herzegovina. I'm not really sure that I pronounced that correctly, but you'll know what I'm talking about when you look it up. Herzegovina. They've been doing that for the oil industry, and they've been hitting hard. And then they're pushing the limit with places like Ukraine and other countries like, you know, Belarus and all them. And speaking of Belarus, you've got somebody that's in league with a president, not Belarus, Bulgaria. That the president of Bulgaria, who's in league with President Putin, who's telling Middle Easterners that have been run out by ISIS and such, that or Afghanistan, that running from the Taliban, that they can come in through their territory and they'll find ways to get them free, just to try to push them into allied Poland. Okay, that's an ally. That's one of our allies, and Bulgaria is trying to push all these people out into Poland after telling them, hey, why don't you come on over here for freedom? And that's just wrong, you know. When Biden faces Putin and tells him to back off, when Biden faces the CCP leader to tell him to back off, when Biden faces all these people, tell him back off, technically, that's really all that we really want them to do. That's really all that we really want him to do. We don't need another war. But at the same time, Biden, we really need Biden just to tell him to go away. We've got enough problems of our own. You know, we're still fighting racial discrimination. We're still fighting people that want to attack migrants. Crumley's parents, you know, the kid Crumley, that 15-year-old that shot a bunch of kids in his school. He was told by his parents to stay quiet. And then they, at the same time, were running around from ATM to ATM collecting, when they got busted, collecting a total of $3,000, more or less, to make a getaway. You know, these are parents that influenced their kid, bought the gun for him, and let him boast on the internet that he's ready to kill people. You know, with their consent. They get caught trying to take portions of money from ATMs while trying to drive away, stay on the run, stay low, and dodge the law, they get caught and say, well, we were going to turn ourselves in. That's all a lie. And we're supposed to believe that crap? No, we're not believing that crap. You know, we got people that are influenced that believe so much rhetoric that they're letting their own kids believe it, and instead of being kids, going off shooting their school. You know? Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, lock her up and throw away the key already. But no, she's a high status person. So we have to deal with having to look at the news every time we go on the news to look at another testimony and after testimony after testimony from the victims, as well as her attorney saying, well, it's all a fabrication and they're just trying to get her for somebody else's crime, when it's total bullcrap. We all know this. We can see this clear as day. You know, we've got enough problems of our own here. We've got redistricting voting. Now, we got people that want to talk about slavery in schools and that go under fire and death threats, claiming that all they want to do is demonize the white people. And yet these same very hurt and angered and just crushed white people are making death threats to somebody like Mrs. Jones. I forgot her first name. I think it was Nicole Jones, who wrote the 1619 book that focused on just primarily slavery. You know, and she's over here getting death threats and people wanting to kill her by the so-called hurt and downhearted white guys. I'm not making this up. I mean, it's the news. This is what's going on. We got enough problems of our own, guys. The communists, they need to go away. They need to go away. The Communist Chinese Party and Putin, they need to stop their shit. They need to stop their shit. That president of Bulgaria needs to quit his shit. He shouldn't be inviting anybody into his territory unless he's willing to take care of them himself. You know, leave the allied countries alone. Get the hell away from us, man. You know, we've got enough problems of our own. Okay, we're just now handling Omicron, and many people are still mispronouncing it when they get into my car because I'm still the rideshare driver, and they're saying Omicron, Omnitrition, Omnitrush, Omnicroof, what the hell, Decepticon. You know, they're still getting it mispronounced. So, and yet at the same time, we're still staying on top of it. We've got enough problems of our own. Another virus mutation, you know. And now we're gonna have to start building some donated foods and stuff like that for one of our own 50 states. One of our 50 states is in trouble. All right, one of our 50 states. It's an island that's been holding its own since God knows how long, up until now. Now it's being flooded and winterized. You know, all you commie states, you dictators and you douchebag dictators, go the fuck away. Go, it's part of my language, go away. Leave us alone. Leave the allies alone. We've got enough problems of our own, dudes. So, that's a quick sum up of what's going on. I still think that sometime before the end of this year, there's going to be another attempt at mass shooting. Just simply because of the douchebags that aren't paying attention to the assholes that are of a different ruling, communist rule, and the dickheads of some religious backed country, Middle Eastern country that wants to, try to hijack another plane, but can't because of security, And if not that, then another mass shooting based off of some douchebag or douchebag's child. Lately, it's been kids. Some douchebag's kid that's been following a bunch of dumb rhetoric that their own damn parents, which for the record, you know, the Crumley parents should go to jail for what they did with their 15-year-old. And I think every parent that has a minor shooting a gun in a mass shooting or a group shooting or a school shooting or at a rally should go to jail too. That would make sense. That makes total sense. Take them away. Take them all away. Put them away, man. I still think there's going to be another out in the open public mass shooting. This was an internal school mass shooting. But somebody's going to go out into the public street soon. Somebody's going to take it to that level soon. And I got a funny feeling, not a funny feeling, but just a hunch based off of the the record that we've got, a record of shootings that we've got. It's going to be out in the public. It's going to be out in the open, and it's going to be in a big, huge mass at a crowd. And I don't think I'm not really sure it's going to be another Walmart, or a church. This time I think it's going to be right out there where we're all enjoying the holidays, And again, it would make him a serious douchebag, because he's out there shooting off of whatever belief that he's got, despite the fact that we've earned this holiday time. We've got a third mutation, the Omicron. But we're handling it. We've earned this. We've earned the right to enjoy ourselves here. Not to go ahead and, we've earned the right to enjoy the holidays by the holiday nature. The nature of those holidays. The jingle bells and all that stuff. And the reason for this as well is because technically we've got it under control for now. There's a possibility that there can be another outbreak somewhere down the line. It could creep up on us, and then we have to go into another shutdown, another lockdown. That's going to suck donkey balls, but it's a possibility that can happen. And it can happen as soon as this month, the month that we're in. It's just December 8th. We've got another 20 days out of this entire month. We still got another 3 weeks or 2.5, whatever. The thing is, we got to be careful. I'm predicting another mass shooting. I'm predicting one out in the open where we are all at, despite the fact that we earned the right to be out here. Some nutbar, some dumbass, I'm claiming dumbass who's following the rhetoric or somebody else's propaganda is going to go ahead and thinking that he has to do this. For whatever reason, it's irrelevant. It's just the simple fact that he's a dumbass following somebody's preachings of hate. So everybody, stay careful out there. Keep a weary eye out. Stay with your masks. Keep your social distancing. Practice all the safety measures. Buddy system and such. Look both ways before crossing the street. I don't care. Eat your vegetables. And all that good stuff. Take care. Stay safe. Take it easy. This is Chris with Chris's Comments, a show of common sense on common ground. Signing out. Take care.